Hello and welcome to my video, lesson 1.3, setting a price. In other words, markup. So, if we look at the selling price, we can call it retail price as well. Selling price is equal to the cost plus the markup. So the markup is how much the person is making. Okay, so markup is, I have an apple. I bought the apple for $1 at the grocery store, but at school, because I'm a little bit of a ripoff, I sold it for $2, sorry, to Mr. Kelly across the hall. So markup is how much I made. So if I bought it for $1 and I sold it for $2, now I've made $1. Okay, so there's an equation there for you, but let's take a look at the question in a second, and then you'll understand a little bit better. Markup rate is a percentage, essentially, or you can leave it as a decimal if you want, depending on what the question's asking. So a markup rate is a percentage of the selling price. So how much is it up of the selling price? Or how much of the markup? How much of the selling price is markup? That's a better way of saying it. So how much of the selling price is actually profit? Okay, yeah, I guess here, let's write that up here. So markup, another way to write it is profit. Okay, all right, so Mr. Drager has been buying and selling computers over the summer. His one of his builds cost him $300 to make. If he sells it for $650, how much money did he make? Okay, well this is pretty straightforward, right? We can use that equation up here if we want to. Some of us might just rather not, but let's put it up here. So I'll say retail equals cost plus profit. Just so that I can write less letters. Okay, so retail is selling price, cost is cost, profit is markup. Okay, so it cost him how much to make? Well, it cost him, being me, Mr. Drager, $300 to make, and I sold it. That means my retail price was $650. So what is my profit? Well, in this equation, it's not that straightforward, but it is if we remember opposite operators. Opposite operators. This is what I've talked about in class, and operators. I'm so bad at spelling. And it's also what I talked about in the last two videos, and I will continue talking about it as long as you're in my class. Opposite operators. So if we multiply, then instead we divide. If we add, then instead we subtract. And in this case, what's happening is we're adding this $300 to the unknown. So we want to instead subtract that amount. And if we subtract it on both sides, then we get to an answer. So now we have, let's write this out, 650 minus 300 equals profit. Let's just remind ourselves, so 300 minus 300 equals 0, so that's why we can cancel. So that means our profit is $350. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I made $350. I didn't make $650 when I sold it, even though that's what I end up with in my hand. It cost me some to make it. So the profit is $350. Okay, let's look at another question, just a different side of it. So Mr. Drager wants to make $200 off his latest build. If it cost him $250 to make, how much does he need to sell it for? So it's just another way of writing this out. But let's write out our equation again. Retail equals cost plus profit. Awesome. So when we write in our numbers. Well, how much does it need to sell it for? That's the unknown in this case. So we don't know how much I have to sell it for. The cost is $250. And I want to make, let's write the dollar sign, and I want to make $200. Okay, well, this one's even easier than before. 200 plus 250 is $450. So the retail price that I have to sell it for is $450 if I want to make $200 off of it. Okay, very, very simple. Let's look at this part B of this question. Let's say, what is the percent markup for the latest build? Well, how much is profit compared to the retail price? So let's say percent markup equals the profit divided by retail times by 100%, like we said at the beginning. So we just need to plug in some numbers here, and our profit was $200. Our retail price we calculated out to be $450 times by 100%, and we are left with our percent markup equals, let's just plug that into the calculator. I could do that by hand, but it's fine. Equals 44.4 repeating percent. So that is our percent markup. Alright, I hope this video helps you understand setting a price or markup and profit a little bit better. And good luck!